to a settled matter. But it is right to note that whatever was that BBC interview, the mere mention of South and North was an invitation of institutional anarchy.
All right. Now, as you know,
senators of the Federal Republic.
Yes. The federal government, as you know, has dismissed outright all these speculations contained therein along the lines that you have sort of aired here. But what do you make of reports of the Senate President Akpabio being threatened over Senator Ningi's suspension?
What did you make of Senator Akpabio doing what?
Him being threatened, reportedly, according to one or two newspaper headlines. What do you make of reports of him being threatened over Ningi's suspension?
Well, in the politics of that incident is the issue of ethnic bigotry. Ethnic bigotry. I'm sure in all of this, so far we have discussed, and so far you've had your facts around. And of course, you heard from your journalist hangout yesterday and various media outlets. You will see that the intrigues this thing is generating is undeserving. So, I recall some years ago when Joe Wyers was the president of the Senate from South.
Of blessed memory now.
He went through, yes, of blessed memory now, please. Yes, may his soul rest in peace. And you and I know what he went through. He went through the furnace. When the Southeast had a turn to produce the president of the Senate, within 4 years, the same people brought all sorts of bickerings, all sorts of intrigues, and all of that. So none of the Senate presidents within that 4 years, the 5 of them, was allowed to settle down and do his job. They all ended it like that. But when David Mark came to become a Senate president, activism went to bed. He presided over the Senate for 8 years. Not because he's Jesus Christ or because he's a saint, because the people who are claim that the powers of this country reside with them have forgotten that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in its preamble have stated that we the people of Nigeria, not we the people of the South or people of the North. And every senator in the floor of the Senate, they subscribe to an oath as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not a senator of the South or of the North. And to that extent, Saraki, His Excellency Senator Saraki, became the Senate president, even when the executive was doing any and everything possible to remove him. The senators stood by him. He enjoyed his 4 years. What about the Lawan of the ninth Senate? He enjoyed the benefit of that goodwill. And today, Akpabio has come in. The minority questions have risen. We are now knowing the difference between North and South. They are now beginning to, all sorts of sentiments are wiped into it. Within the province of our law, we are all equal before the law. And
okay,
so
one moment,
there is
please.
No way
one moment, I beg your pardon. One moment, please. Let me bring in our first caller.
I'll wait for you.
Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for holding on.
Yes.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
Good morning to the guest.
Honorable Ayibo.
Judge,
Honorable Ayibo.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, this issue of pardon in the Senate, I'm not a fan of the way things are done in the National Assembly. The constituency project itself, we have debated it severally on this program, and my views on it are that they are just arbitrary. But be that as it may, what has happened at the National Assembly in this particular case, you cannot, I see something underneath that is untoward. Senator Olamilekan was saying, after giving details of the so-called missing 3.7 trillion, after showing where it is and all that, he said that there was a plot to remove Akpabio from the position. And from what happened yesterday, when the opposition party is saying that Senator Akpabio should resign and that EFCC should go and probe him, it gives credence to what Olamilekan was saying. Were they not the same people that elected him as the Senate president? Why is it now that they are now saying he should be removed, cooking up fictitious allegations, even when it has been proven that there is nothing missing or there is no padding of the budget? The senator said, the appropriation committee chairman said that 3.7 trillion naira is for institutions that are on first-line charge. And he showed in 3 previous budgets that they are not normally reflected on the booklet. So what else? I don't see any padding. There is more to it than meets the eye. And what is more to it is already showing. They should allow this country have peace. That's just my view. All
right, then. Thank you very much.
And very much, Judge. And I want to also add, thank you for your understanding of the process and the procedure, and the very fact that you've asked a rhetorical question, which I want to reverse it, For a political party, even when PDP made that press release asking Akpabio to resign and all of that, they did not consult the senators who are members of the party. Because the senators who are members, this thing has nothing to do with APC, PDP. In the Senate, it is a Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You have a lot of opposition parties there, but they don't exhibit those tendencies. They are working together. In fact, they are the strength of Akpabio's leadership. Because Akpabio's leadership is transparent, it promotes free speech, and that is why this advantage is taken. If it were in the days of the York, where I know those who were presiding, they wouldn't have broke this. So what we are saying here is that, like you rightly said, Mr. Judge, there is something under, and I have made an expose of what is under. It is to make sure that the people of the South, the people of the southern Nigeria, have given you the experience of the Southeast. I've given you, now is the turn of the South and all of that. Just to make sure that this country is polarized and the government of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu is destabilized. Because usually it used to be a friction between the legislature and the executive when it comes to the issue of budget. But today, the presidency has issued a statement. And people are not still satisfied with that. A political party who is unable to manage its objective and mobilizing its members to be able to give alternative opinion to the issue of governance is coming to say he must step aside. Under which principles of the law, when already the facts have already spoken to itself, in the floor of the Senate, when Ningi stood up and denied those things, that some of those things were not what he said, and that the transcription was 80% correct. So the principle of law is very clear. Whoever asserts whoever asserts must prove. And in this case, the man who asserted is unable to prove, and the fact spoke for itself.
All right, Honorable Eyibo, we've got to take a break now, but stay right with us, please. We'll be back and we'll continue with the conversation and take your viewers from our viewers.
TVC News Weekend Lineup. TVC Breakfast Saturday with Kemi Fola Adeyemo and Emmanuel Ajayi. Political Standpoint with Precious Amayo. Newsweek with Mark Otabo and Jacinta Ugochukwu. Politics on Sunday with Femi Akonde. Community Forum with Sarah Yeku. Get ready for the biggest stories, fresh perspectives, and burning news discussions that round up the weekend. Only on TVC News.
First with breaking news. Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas.
It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Okay, welcome back. And our guest is Right Honorable Eseme Eyibo. He's a special advisor on media and publicity to the Senate President. And we're looking at a move that, Senator Abdul Ningi has accused, the Senate or the country, quite frankly, of improper conduct, saying that the budget that was approved is different from that which is being used. This is a move, he was speaking on the BBC Hausa service, and this is a move that Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele has referred to as about the equivalent of a civilian coup, and that all these agitations towards, the next dispensation and changing the leadership of the Senate needs to stop. So we're happy to have with us Right Honorable Eyibo, who has been, laying out the facts. And, as he just finished, before we went on break, he who asserts must prove. You don't even need to be a lawyer to know that. And Ada in Jos has joined the conversation. Good morning to you, ma'am.
If I don't calling from Jos, Plateau State. I don't know, you people have done enough preamble on the issue of the pardon. My worry is that it's not the first time we have allegations of pardon of our budget or whatever. It has been there. It's a recurring decimal. So, but my worry here is I want to use this your medium to appeal to members of the National Assembly to put a stop to this habit as regional senators. So every time they're always promoting this north-south dichotomy. I begin to wonder if they ever ponder over our national anthem and the pledge. I begin to wonder. Then we have this slogan, One Nigeria. How will be One Nigeria if we continue this way? That is what is even bothering me, the whole thing. If it's started or not, they can set up a committee and probe it. Not necessarily, suspending somebody just like that with fiat. Where did they even get that power? Where did they get the power to do that in the first instance? So I don't know. Let's just be careful. I don't know. Each time we keep on saying we want to have one Nigeria, but we never want to keep to things that will make us become one Nigeria. Every day it's north and south, north and south, north and this one, south and this one. That one. Immediately this other one happens. Southerners have been playing down. Immediately this one happens. The Southerners, senators now does their own. What does that tell you? We have a big problem in this country. We are a nation, many nations in a nation. That is it, whether we like it or not. Let's restructure this country so we can have our peace. All the let's talk about Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Ada, calling in there. She's made her point, and quite frankly, you can't fault it very much. Much as we might be working towards the ideal that she's citing out of the national anthem, it still is what it is. And you alluded to that fact when you said that, well, this is politics, sectional politics coming up again. It's not a desirable thing, and it doesn't seem easy to overcome it, Honorable.
But you were very faint at the tail end of what you were saying.
Well, I was saying that what Ada was highlighting there, that here we come with sectional politics again, very rarely thinking in national terms, and then so much verve and gusto is given to these sectional sentiments. It's not a desirable thing, and but I was saying that it is what it is. You had alerted, you had sort of cited it yourself earlier that this is what is at the bottom of all of this, and Ada was voicing her frustration that she's sick and tired of it. That when will we begin to think nationally as one nation, not one set of people, going to all sorts of machinations to undo trip up, remove the other person simply because it's not from their section of the country?
Well, I can tell you that a couple of these things are a mere display of elite conspiracy to undermine the diversity, the strength of our diversities. Now, look at when Nigeria was playing the last African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. How many Nigerians, how many of us, there was no comment of how many Igbo players, how many Hausa players, or how many Akwa Ibom players. There was a Nigerian Super Eagles. That's the strength in our diversity. The Senate president went there out of his own volition. He went and joined those people. The vice president went there and all of that. The massive solidarity that came up from that competition was to show in Nigeria that if we all abide by our constitution, our rights owe our compatriots, this country will be great again. But when we begin to talk about North-South, that dichotomy and the sentiment will definitely stir up the divisiveness in our strength. So, when the elite, a lawmaker who admitted to an oath of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that he shall not do any ill will, that he shall not use his office to promote those tendencies he's promoting now. In fact, if there was a provision on the Constitution, I would propose that there should be an amendment to the Constitution that anybody who promotes divisiveness to the extent of talking about North-South should be dismembered as a Nigerian citizen. Because those are the people who are polluting the potentials. Those are the people who are undermining the determination of most of our leaders to raise this country up again. We need to look for a way we can intervene on the issue of massive insecurity in this Northeast, Northwest, North Central. We need to see how much we will be able to kickstart the economy in the Southeast so that unknown gunmen will later become active entrepreneurs. We need to see a possibility where the man in the South Side is made to know that regardless of the effect of exploitation and exploration in oil, that they have a stake in this country. That is the kind of Nigeria with. And the renewed hope agenda by its prospectus and objective is intended to jumpstart and activate, that aspect of our life. That will make Nigeria a community of all.
Excellent. Let me bring on Hussein, who has called in from Jos. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, Uncle Yori, good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Can you? Yes, please. You see,
yeah,
Uncle
good morning.
Yori,
good morning.
This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria we are talking about. Nigeria does not belong to one section of Nigeria. Before amalgamation, I believe Nigeria will agree to be one country. That is why amalgamation takes place. But the truth is that, you see, this politics of dominance by one section of the country is becoming something very, very terrible. I think these people this section of the economy, of the country, they have to really sit down and have a routine. Human beings are growing. Our sales are increasing. This kind of divisive politics is no longer paying again. Rather than it's causing a lot of damage to the country. They should have a routine. They have ruled this country more than any other person. I'm sorry to say this on the national television. They are the ones that have bring this country backward. Let Nigeria unite. They should bring something purposeful, something reasonable so that we can move forward. We can no longer continue like this. Enough is enough. If there is problem, let the leadership sit down and resolve it. Not behaving as if we are coward, calling ourselves leaders. It's not good. That's my take.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much for
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Every right-thinking member of society, quite frankly, has been contributing to this whole idea that, look, can we just get national for once? It's interesting. It might seem like a small idea, but you did make the the notion of how all Nigeria comes together when a national team, is in competition. When a national person becomes a winner in an event, a sporting or athletics event, everybody claims it. So what is different? Yeah, I know we keep on making these examples, but at our very core, that's the part, and that is why Opeyemi Bamidele, distinguished senator, was saying that this is effectively a coup, and it's trying to limit, the tenure of the Senate president, according to him. That was the way he saw it, and we need to move beyond that, because those allegations simply cannot stand, as has been copiously explained. Mr. George called in. Everybody saw on television the distinguished senator who was explaining it, laboriously explaining how none of this can really stand. Meanwhile, I believe that the senator, distinguished Senator Ningi, for all of that, said he's standing his grounds, although in one place, then other places he will say he never said something. So it's become a dog's dinner, quite frankly, in terms of what exactly was the intention of Senator Ningi.
Yeah. Uncle Yuri, I think I can, Uncle Yuri, yes, I think I can. I really appreciate the contributions of the persons who have phoned in, and also appreciate the fact that you are able to take this thing on milestones so that your viewers will be able to not only understand it, but also buy into this issue of national consciousness, because this is the drive. But let me also say this to you too. This incident that took place in the Senate a couple of days ago has brought to fore the issue of leadership recruitment process in this country. We need, those of us who believe in Nigeria and who believe in the sustainability of this country, devoid of any partisan cleavages, should be able to appreciate that we must change the pattern, culture, and the thinking in our leadership recruitment culture. Now, I can tell you, and clearly too, that at some point, even the media, who are the unelected representative of the people, are not also doing well. I want to be honest about it. Where a television station take a piece of paper with the analysis, budget analysis, figures, and all of that, and put it on the screen, without, if he's a development journalist, without comparatively to, since it's one budget, if you are saying that this belongs to Ikorogbene Senatorial District, you should be able to run the budget of all the constituencies in this country so that we know which one is skewed and which one is not skewed. For instance, if you are talking about, if you want to take the presiding officers, for example, when you run that this is what is happening in Akpabio's senatorial district, this is what is happening in the Deputy Senate President's senatorial district, this is what is happening in the Speaker's, Speaker of the House of Rep, the Speaker's senatorial, constituency, this is what is happening in Deputy Speaker. If you want to take the presiding officers, for example, you take the four of them, and then you analyze and state this thing, so that let's be able to see how transparent, how ingenious you are in trying to interrogate the budget. But now, Akpabio is not the only presiding officer of the National Assembly, even though he never participated in the crossing of the T's and the dotting of that. None of the presiding officers did anyway. But what I'm saying is that if you want to put the presiding officers on your lenses, you should bring all the presiding officers and the senatorial or federal constituency this thing and analyze the budget.
Okay.
And you are saying that it's only in Akpabio Senatorial District these things are done. And in Akpabio Senatorial District, I have stated here that there are 4 House of Representatives persons, 4. And out of that 4, they are also entitled to projects constituency project, which is also in that senatorial district. So also bring out the one of the deputy Senate president, the one of the speaker, the one of the deputy speaker. So that when you want to, whatever is the intention, we know you want to do analysis.
The point has been made.
But you can't use one person as an individual to do analysis. That is absolutely wrong, partisan, and of course, of no issue.
Okay. Mazi Okorafo in Arochukwu, good morning. Thank you for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Good morning, our brother. So you need to see this issue of controversy of whether pardon or pardon or pardon. You see, what is the moral value of the National Assembly members that tomorrow, even presently, they are saying they are proving MDH, they are proving federal agencies. Which moral value do you have? Since Obasanjo's regime to date, pardon. Now, when you pass a budget or insert anything, who are going to make use of the money? What do you have in your own constituency you are going to use the money for? You see, these are the that they have exposed what is in the National Assembly. Now, the committee, I was expecting, well, thank God for BBC Outside News. And look, there's one thing people don't understand. In as much as that interview has been granted on the BBC, if we are all now on the digital leader, it is already it's stuck there in that BBC. Okay. Whether you call 100 years or 20 years or 200 years to come in future, the story is there. People will make use of it and go back to make research on those things. So, whatever the government, whether they suspend the National Assembly, suspend the Gingele or what, doesn't make the point. It says that, and what people are saying, my dad are saying, even me I'm saying, investigating the whole issue before coming to the clamping down on the Gingele is all right. Well, I thank God for people like the Bauchi State Governor, what he did, Bala. He accepted his brother that his brother did not commit any crime. That is not. Now look at this situation now. The man is representing the North. The man is in charge of the Northern Senators. When it happened, all the senators from the North, all of them just shuru. Nobody cares to back him up. It is not them. So you push somebody, you leave somebody there as their chairman. Something happens. You see the type of relationship, the type of friendship, what we call statesmanship we have in Nigeria. This is your brother, this is your brother, this is your brother, from the same, all of them from the same zone. And something happens. Nobody among the senators from the North. Look, the politics in Nigeria, I'm still saying it, I'm still repeating it. Politics in Nigeria is only tagged with two factors. One, money and power. And as long as money and power is Nigerian politics, my brother and my sister, what we are seeing now is a small thing. What we are looking, that is why Nigeria should go back at the class state parliamentary. Or take politics as a vocation, not as an entrepreneurship. What we are doing now is entrepreneurship democracy in Nigeria. Good morning.
Thanks.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, Yori, before, please let me attend to two issues that Mazi brought up there.
Okay, please go ahead.
He said there is no value for constituency project. That is not correct. There is no one federal constituency in this country. I can bet you with my heart that you don't have products of constituency projects. There are some communities in this country who will have not seen anything like borehole before, who have not seen rural electrification or road construction. But it's through constituency project, some of these communities have benefited from it. If they have not benefited from it, it's unfortunate. Then the other aspect is that it's also taking the conversation away from the issue of national consciousness. He's talking about his brothers who have backed him. We are only one. We are one. Nigeria is one. There is no way you expect because the man comes from the same place with you, you back him from illegality. The position of the law is clear. The position of the law is very clear on it. He was a person who alleged and he couldn't prove. And you don't expect other people, very distinguished senators from the North or from the same political party with him, to now align to something he is aware that it was against the rule book. By the effect of Section 60 of the Constitution, that empowers the Senate and the House of Representatives to make for itself a rule. So That rule
But
is binding on everybody, irrespective of class.
Honorable, I believe the last speaker who called in was actually adding that as a sort of a point, attesting to what you have been saying, that the way people naturally tend to back their quote-unquote brothers, very little of that has been seen in evidence. And so it sort of gives the lie to what is going on here, without prejudice to the point that you have been stressing about, never mind your brother. Everybody is supposed to be...
And the problem is not the system of government, whether presidential or parliamentary, as is proposing. The problem is not the system of government. The problem is in us as individuals. Yes, we have to restructure our social system. Yes.
Okay. I think our last caller this morning is going to be Reverend Dominic. Good morning to you, sir. It's been quite a while.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to comment on Niger's statement about budget and Mr. President being skewed or not in favor of the budget is not in favor of the North. That statement is quite welcome. It's unpatriotic. When did Nigerian government start favoring one side and not other side? When Mr. President, the last president, was in power, we see the appointment how it was. We see the project how it was. Why is it our brother from the North did not complain that time? And this time we have a budget well balanced. Well balanced. I tell that contribute here patriotically. This is one budget that was well balanced. And now he's complaining. He's not complaining about Senate leadership. He's also complaining about a leadership that has come from the South, which is not interested in. That's one side. And I want to say this. In constituency projects, we must sit down in Nigeria to revisit it again. What is the work of a governor? What is the work of a local government chairman? If we can take the money from constituency projects, which have been a controversy since 1999, and give it back to governors and local government chairmen, we'll see more projects in our state than this constituency project. This constituency project have been more controversial than what is supposed to achieve. I live in Alimosho for many years. I've not seen one project here in Alimosho, that constituency project. All the things I see in Alimosho is either my local government chairman who repairs my road every day, or because state who.
Okay.
I mean,
Reverend Dominic, your point has been taken. Thank you very much for contributing it. Don't be a stranger. As I was saying, it's been quite a while since we heard from you. And, Honorable Eyibo, in order to give you the last word, as it were, as we must begin to prepare to go away.
My closing remarks. I want to appeal to Nigerians that they have to give this 10 Senate, this 10 National Assembly, a chance to perform. And I can bet my heart and I can stake my soul that Akpabio, being a product of a transparent, credible election conducted for the election of the principal officers of the Senate, is the first person who has emerged without partisan cleavages, is the first person who has emerged without anything other than transparency and credibility. He should be given that chance. Emerging as a commissioner, as a governor, as a minister, as a senator before minority leader and Senate president. He is a balanced diet for our modern democracy. If he's given a chance, he will institute those things he has in leadership. That will be the best connecting rod between the three arms of government that will be able to promote our growth and opportunities. That's my closure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eseme Eyibo, the Right Honorable Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Senate President. We're going to have to leave it here for now. If need be, we'll be revisiting it as time goes. Join us on Monday for a fresh edition. Until then, do have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.